Hi, everybody. This is Tim Johnson, and we have Stacy Borho and
Hi.
Joe Spanier. Welcome.
Hi.
Joe Spanier's with River City Labs, and well, tell us what River City Labs is.
So, River City Labs is Peoria's first makerspace. We're a community-based makerspace in downtown Peoria, where people can come and utilize our resources to make literally whatever they want. Um, we're a 501c3 nonprofit organization, and we're completely member-based, and we just kind of exist to make and create and share. So,
Wow.
Where are we right now?
so right now we are. Thank you. Right now we are in the upper level of River City Labs. So this is what we call the clean space. This is where we do things like laser cutting. We have classrooms, and this is where we do 3D printing, computery things, anything that's kind of clean. Then downstairs, what we'll go to later is our workshop area where we've got metalworking and woodworking and some other things.
Cool.
So, if somebody wants to come in and do something, I guess what's the motivation for somebody to come here and just create?
Well, the biggest thing is space. Workshops cost money and cost space, and we have a lot of tools that normal people wouldn't necessarily have, like laser cutters and 3D printers. And we've got a lot of space to come in and work on your projects, get away from the distractions of life, and be around like-minded individuals. That's the biggest thing. Is we are a community, so being able to share ideas, share questions with other people trying to do similar things to you is a huge benefit to trying to create.
So, what are they creating? What's being created tonight?
Right now, we've got somebody working on our laser cutter. We've got a class going on in the back on how to turn rough 3D prints. 3D prints come out layered and kind of ridged into super smooth, beautifully sanded parts that you would never know were printed. We've got a couple guys working on designing some projects. Um, this is a normal Thursday night. Thursday nights are our community night, and actually, this is fairly light right now. This is
Yeah.
the very beginning, so people will start flooding in soon.
So, what is a 3D printer?
So 3D printer, my favorite analogy is an ultra precise glue gun. It's a computer controlled platform that moves a head around that extrudes melted plastic and then builds the parts line by line, layer by layer, with instructions from a computer.
So, you can create most anything 3D, right?
Most anything. There's some limitations, but they're getting fewer and fewer.
Awesome.
That's very cool. And then you've got this sign up here too that
You want to show the sign?
says hack.
Sign's one of our pride and joys. This is an old Radio Shack sign that one of our members acquired, and then we hacked it with color changing LEDs and turned it into a bit of an icon.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I had seen that when you did defining our times on your laptop, and I'm like, yeah, it makes sense, but I didn't pull the
So-
Radio Shack thing together at all.
Yeah, it's a throwback to Makerspace's early days when they very first started. They were called Hackerspaces, and they were very computer software centric. So,
Awesome. So why don't you give us a tour?
okay. So, like I said, this is the upper floor. This is the clean space. Back here is one of our classroom areas. It's got some workbenches and soon to be a small kitchen area. Over here is our laser area and our electronics bench.
So what are we doing with the laser?
Right now, we are trying to get an open source software called LaserWeb to create good rasters on our computer. And then this is a future laser cutter that has a very, very large build area of 3 foot by 4 foot. It should be done in the next couple of months.
So what will they? It's a cutting tool, correct?
Yes.
So what are they? Generally, what are they cutting?
So both of these lasers are CO2 lasers. They
Okay.
typically cut things like wood, plastic. They can etch stone, glass. but they can't cut metal. They're the wrong type of laser for that.
Okay.
And over here is our 3D printer area.
Oh, okay.
We have a couple 3D printers. This is a community-built printer. We did a group build of 15 of these a year and a half ago. This is based off of an open source design from a company called Lulzbot. And this is a printer bot simple.
So it looks like it's taken weed whacker string.
It's very similar.
Yeah.
This is ABS. It's called Filament.
Okay.
And the printer bot, I think, is running PLA. And yeah, it runs up through that line, comes through, and gets heated to about 230 degrees Celsius and extruded onto the build plate. And you can build neat things like
Awesome.
this
Wow.
fender head.
That's cool.
And then we have these three 3D printers, and then we also have this large 3D printer behind Christian that's got a bunch of stuff on it right now, but it has a very large build area of about 2 feet squared, which is about 200% bigger than most 3D printers.
Wow.
So that's the rough texture that you're talking about.
Yes, yeah, so this is very layering. This was actually built on the Big E, and so it's a lot thicker layers than you would normally see. But,
Great. All right. What else you got?
Oh yeah.
over here we've got some drones and a stage and our computer area. Vinyl cutter, a whole bunch of stuff.
A whole bunch of stuff.
Which is pretty much a common occurrence in makerspaces. They tend to be areas that end up collecting things because people like us don't like to throw things away because we might be able to take them apart and use them for something else. at some
I
point.
understand that.
So,
Can
I
you
have
tell
that
us
problem.
a little more about these drones?
so these drones are both cinematography drones. They were donated to us by a local ad agency. And honestly, we haven't flown either of these since they were donated to us. There's some debate on whether or not they work, and we've been kind of focused on getting the space together rather than getting some of our miscellaneous projects going. So this one is very powerful, though. That will carry a full-size SLR pretty quick. There's some pretty great videos of that on the internet. So
Awesome.
we're excited to get that working at some point.
Great.
Nothing wrong with having projects. That's the whole point of the area, right?
Yeah, we have a lot of projects.
That's all right.
So, and then I can take you guys downstairs
Okay.
and show you the rest of the shop.
So what do you generally do downstairs?
So downstairs is the dirty area, and you're going to see why I say
The
that.
dirty area.
We just took over the downstairs about a month and a half ago, so it's very much in progress still. But it is a full wood shop and metal shop where we work on things that aren't so neat and clean.
Look at that top.
Make sure our videographer can make it down here.
This is very cool.
We got Luke behind the scenes tonight doing camera work today.
So this is the dirty area. So like I said, it's very much in progress still, but full complement of woodworking tools. All of them are able to be pulled out, work be done on them, slid back in. There's not a ton of room down here, so we're kind of space conscious about how we lay everything out. But this is all the manual woodworking tools. We have things like a panel saw, a large planer, band saw, table saw, a few different types of sanders.
Some really decent equipment. I mean,
Yeah,
some investment made into this.
we've been lucky with how we've come across our tools, and it's been pretty amazing how much support we've gotten from the Peoria area and coming across things like this and a lot of our tools that we have upstairs. 'Cause like I said, we're all self-funded. We have no grants. We have nothing like that. So all of these are pretty important to us.
So are you doing any fundraisers or anything like that?
No, we should. It's all in the plans for 2017.
Yeah.
We do a large event in the summer called Midwest Maker Fest. That's
Okay.
part of Ignite. That is a large fundraiser. We have another event coming up with the Riverfront Museum called the Heart of Illinois Open Tech Summit, which will be focusing on open source technology created in the Peoria area, things like 3D printing, things like open source software that some of our local companies are working on, and some other cool stuff like that. So those are both coming up.
Awesome.
I'll keep
All right.
going on the tour. Sorry.
Oh, sure, no problem.
I'm easily derailed.
No, that's why
Um,
we're here.
This is our CNC router. So this takes in a computer program, and then it moves this cutting head around in 3 axes, and it can cut things out like these alphabet blocks. You can kind of see these. Those are scrapped from the project that as it was being cut. And then we have a lathe, a couple different types of welders. We've got a MIG welder and a TIG welder. Like I said, this area is a mess. It's very much in progress. We have a CNC mill that is very similar to the router, but it cuts steel. That's being rebuilt right now. And yeah, just a lot of in-progress projects that should hopefully be wrapped up in the next couple months. But a lot of functionality, a lot of tools that you wouldn't normally find in your average home workshop.
Yeah,
So
this is really cool.
Are you seeing more of these throughout the country?
they're everywhere.
Are they?
I'm honestly surprised that we're the only one in Peoria. But just in the Midwest, we've got makerspaces popping up in Bloomington, Champaign, Springfield, Decatur. There's like 3 in the Quad Cities, and then this is a nationwide and worldwide movement. The whole maker movement thing. So this is very much a growing thing.
So how did you start this?
So we met at a coffee shop, the original founding members, and I was giving a talk on 3D printing. And after the talk on 3D printing, kind of got together with a couple of the people at the talk, and we said we were all interested in starting a makerspace. And so we got together, we worked on some projects together, and eventually we ended up with a small space, like 100 square feet, at an art gallery downtown where we could meet up and actually host people. And then we were there for about a year and a half, and that space was nice because we could expand out into the art gallery after gallery hours. And then last May, we moved into here, May of 2015. We moved here, and we just had the upper floor up, like I said, up until a couple months ago. And this has just been an exercise in expansion and trial and error, and yeah.
Very cool. So you need to be a member or can be a member? Or?
Yes. Yeah. So, like I said, we're member based. To utilize the tools, you have to be a member. We have 2 member classes. We have Starving Member, which has access to the space when other full members are here. Basically, you don't get 24-hour access. And then we have Full Member, which is $35 a month. You get 24-hour access. You get access to our Slack community, which is a huge benefit. And there's a couple other things that come along with that. The Starving Member class is $20, and we have a few Starving members, but we most of the time we see people start out as a Starving member, and then a month later they're a full member because you get a key, and then you can come and make things whenever you want, and just be part of the community.
So what do you enjoy about this?
The thing I enjoy the most about this is the thing I didn't expect to actually happen, and that is the community aspect of the space. When we initially got together to start the makerspace, all I wanted was a workshop that had more tools than I had in my garage at home. That's all I wanted. I didn't care about meeting other people. That wasn't my goal. And what came of it was we had, for our first year and a half of existence, when we were in the art gallery, none of our tools worked.
Oh,
None of this was a thing. It was all just kind of in a pile in the corner of the gallery, and we all met every week and talked about how one day we would have a functional makerspace. But in that, we talked about the projects we wanted to work on, and we talked about the skills that we had, and then we started teaching classes, and then this amazing community of perfect strangers kind of blossomed out of nowhere. And now we have about 50 regular members. We've got some members that go in and out, and we have a constant influx of people joining and just coming to check us out, coming to be a part of the space. And then we participate in, like you said, the national thing. We're participating in this network of makers throughout the country, going to different events, meeting new people, and supporting other people's events like ours, Midwest Maker Fest.
So do you have competitions or anything like that?
No, and that's my favorite part, is there is no competition. There's no judgment. It's so inclusive and inviting and unthreatening. Some of the maker fests and things have things like the Nerdy Derby, which is a Pinewood Derby for adults that has a lot less rules. Like, you can't have a rocket-powered car and a couple other things, but that's about it. And then the Power Racing Series, which is a Power Wheels, modified Power Wheels car for adults that goes about 30 miles an hour. Those are super fun competitions, but they're not competitions in the sense where people get real serious. And yeah, they're not real serious.
Yeah.
They're really fun.
Yeah.
So,
More challenges.
Yeah. So we participate in things like that. But even if a makerspace popped up in Peoria, even if they were down the road, I wouldn't see them as competition. They're an extension of our community. My first act would be to go down there and say, hey, we have a makerspace. You want me to tell you all the things we did wrong? There's actually a makerspace in Bartonville that I forgot to mention. And we've got a relationship with them, and they're super cool guys. And the best part about this is the more makerspaces that exist, the more things like this that exist, the more people get covered.
Yeah.
Because we definitely can't focus on all the things.
Yeah.
So every makerspace has their own niche.
So I see this as the garage, that proverbial garage that what IBM started in, or
Yes.
Macintosh and all of that.
Yeah.
So that's what I see it as.
Yeah, our goal is definitely not to generate business or to generate money by any means.
Right.
We're not good at that. But if you get enough intelligent, like-minded people in the same room, great things happen.
Yeah.
Without effort. So that's
pretty cool.
yeah.
so you have classes going on upstairs, right?
Right.
There's a class going on. So how did someone know about the classes that you guys have?
So we have a website. It's rivercitylabs.org.
Okay.
And we have a calendar on there. We have a meetup group. We have a Facebook group. We have a Google Plus page. We've got a Twitter account. We've got social media covered. We're not always awesome at it, but we're getting better.
But it's there.
But it's there. So when we do classes, we do blasts on all of the things.
Okay.
We do email blasts if you guys want to be on our email list. We don't spam often. We spam with a purpose. That's pretty much how all of that goes. And the classes they're led by members. They're led by people in the community that have something to share. So if people have things that they want to come teach a class on, they don't even have to be a member. Just come teach a class.
Wow.
So.
Well, we're already about out of time here. So anything else we want to fit in real quick?
Besides the cat's name.
Yeah.
This is Durga.
Okay. I see two
Durga.
cats running around.
Durga's my favorite.
Okay. They come with the building, or are they yours?
Yes, they live in the building. March 23rd, Open Tech Summit at Riverfront Museum.
Okay.
Midwest Maker Fest and Ignite. They're both free. The only reason not to go is you don't like fun.
Awesome.
Yeah. So
And what's the address here where someone can come and check it out on a Thursday night, right?
yeah, Thursday nights after 6:30 or so is a good time to show up. Our address is 1213 Southwest Adams Street. We're pretty easy to find. The old Advanced Shade and Blind building. It's lit up with green LEDs. It's hard to miss.
Dave Denningham, nice to meet you. Tell us a little bit about the etchings that you have here.
So what we're doing here is we are investigating the ways the different speed and power settings on this laser affect different materials. And so in this case, we've got 3mm birch ply, and over here this is a natural slate that we picked up from the hardware store. And we're just investigating, what can we do in terms of design, in terms of cutting certain materials, etching certain materials, kind of what kind of artistic output or even material output can we do with this tool.
So is this a machine that you created?
Partially. This started life as a standard laser cutter. However, almost all of the electronics have been taken out of it and replaced with electronics that we've procured and placed in here. Some of the internal mechanicals we've designed ourselves and replaced, improved. This plate, for instance, is 3D printed on one of the 3D printers over there. So it's a very different machine than what it started life as. All the software is open source here. All the software on this machine that runs it is running open source as well.
So how did you get started in River City Labs?
I was there actually, I think, at the first meeting where we decided on the name and decided we needed to find a space and get things going. And it's just kind of snowballed from there. And we've been meeting at people's houses or in pubs, or we had a small studio in the art space at one point. And we've just kind of grown and gotten more membership and more tools and more membership and more tools and more space as time's gone on.
So why do you do this?
It's fun. It's interesting. It's the chance to make and create in a way that a lot of people don't have the resources to do. I can't have one of these at home. I don't have the space. I don't have the money. I don't have the know-how. But together we all have the space and the money and the know-how to do this, and the 3D printers and everything else. So it's a wonderful workshop for everybody who wants to be involved.
Great, thank you. So we're looking at a 3D printer.
Yep.
And it's kind of going through the process.
Yeah, so right now it's printing out a sensor that we're going to use on the Big E to do very, very large prints that'll let us know when it runs out of material instead of just failing on us. And right now it's laying down the first layer, so the plastic sticks to the bed, and it'll just go through and it'll fill in those lines, move up, and
So you said
next
this
layer.
was built by
Yes.
River City Labs.
Yep. Yeah, so we printed all the parts on other 3D printers, and we built this one, and we taught a class on how to build them.
So it looks like it actually has 3D printed
Yeah, the
parts
red
in
pieces,
it. Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
The red pieces you
uh,
guys created?
All of the plastic, so the green, the red, the white, everything was printed by us.
That is so cool.
And it's got a few different generations of modifications in it now.
So this not only, well, it's printing in 3D, so it's printing it up and down, and yeah.
Yep. Yeah, so it's really, 3D is kind of a misnomer. It's really 2D with layers.
Okay.
So it prints the first layer, and then it moves up, and then it does another layer, and then it moves up. True three-dimensional printing isn't really a thing yet.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
What's your favorite machine to play on?
I like lasers.
Yeah?
I work for a company that manufactures these, so this is my day job.
Okay.
Is 3D printers. So I'm a big fan of lasers. This laser's been my baby for way too long, and then that blue laser was my project that came here to live, and then Ryan has helped get it fine-tuned into a really functional project.
Okay.
So
And so if you did have kids come through here, because I think you had mentioned that in the Defining Our Time, right? What would they do?
So we've done some how to solder projects
Okay.
and some really basic robotics stuff. We haven't had a lot of kids in this space,
Okay.
but we've done we've gone to Camp Tapawinga, which is a Girl Scout camp,
Yeah, I was there.
and done LED workshops with the Girl Scouts, and
Okay.
we've done a bunch of stuff like that. So we try to go out into the community and do more things rather
That's
than
very
bring
cool.
the kids here. So.
Sure.
So where do you see this going? All of River City Labs.
Who knows?
Do you have a vision for where it could go?
My vision is getting this space to a point where it's just constantly being utilized. To a point where there's so much utilization here that we have to go find a bigger space. This space isn't a space to like launch businesses from. We're never going to commercialize this. It's always going to stay nonprofit and community based. I'm really excited with the energy in this space, and I just want to see that continue. There's some spaces up in Chicago that have 400 or 500 members. There's just
Wow.
constantly people there, constant activity, and that's where I'd like to see this place get to.
Okay.
So.
Awesome.
Very cool. And then you said very few women, so you need more women down here helping
Yes.
create and give some different perspectives.
In the works is a textile lab, a fine arts floor, all kinds of stuff is in the works. So there's, like I said, if we don't have the things here, just come ask. As long as there's a demand for it, we don't have a problem with it. So we're open to everything.
That's very cool.
When's the best time to come in?
There are always people here Thursday nights after 6:30 or so until about 9 o'clock is a good time to come in. And if you can't make it on Thursday nights, you can email us at info@rivercitylabs.org, and that will go to one of us, and we can set up a time to meet with somebody. There's people here in and out throughout the week, pretty much all the time, but guaranteed Thursday nights. This is our meetup social night.
And remind us of the website again.
rivercitylabs.org is our website, and you can sign up for membership there. You can see the calendar of events that's going on, all the stuff.
Joe was on Defining Our Time. So if you go to definingourtimes.com, you can actually hear his story and the story of this labs a little bit more in detail. So make sure you check that out. You're also on Facebook, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
River City Labs Peoria on Facebook. There's also River City Labs in Australia. So we're green, they're blue.
There you go.
We're on Google+, we're on Twitter. All of it's River City Labs Peoria. So
All right.
you'll be able to find us.
I'm Tim Johnson, Stacy Borho for In the Neighborhood, and this is Joe Spaniard of River City Labs. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
PeoriaLife.com.